Dead in Hip Hop Conversations.
Like C-Town, Dead in Hip Hop.
Dead in Hip Hop Conversations. We're here with Night Wonder. What's good, homie?
Peace to the A.
Dead in Hip Hop.
Hip Hop Minute.
What up, though? You know who this is, man. If you don't know who this is, it's B from the D coming at you with the Hip Hop Minute. For all our fans, man, really appreciate y'all checking us out, subscribing. And if you're gonna be at the A3C this year, Dead in Hip Hop is media sponsors. Artists I want you to check out. There's some fly mixtapes that's been coming out, man. Make sure you check out Logic, Young Sinatra, man. Dude is spitting, dude is killing, man. So if you have not downloaded that, man, make sure you please download it. I don't think he's selling it. I mean, I need to pay this man for this work because it's dope. Also, man, add to One Missed Call mixtape. That's also dope mixtape. Make sure you check out that. You can download that as well too. I think you can probably download the Dead in Hip Hop website as well.
You know, I just want to thank everybody on Twitter, man, that participated in the Hip Hop Minute trending topic contest. You know, some pretty good selections came over. So appreciate everybody for sending those selections over. Also, make sure you guys catch us at the A3C. Look for the T-shirt. We'll be there. Come chop it up with C-Town. He's already waiting for you guys to, But
Don't. Let me tell you right now, 'cause I was thinking about this. Don't bring your asses to the A3C thinking I'm gonna sit there and fucking debate shit all goddamn day. I'm going to have a good time. Don't come at me with no fucking why you don't like Drake shit, man. I'm taking that right fucking now. Not gonna happen.
all right, so we turned to Twitter for this week's topics. We wanted to reach out to a lot of the fans and supporters of the show just to see if we can find anything that they want us to talk about. Shout out to this January for sending over the topic we're about to touch on right now, and it's called it's actually a pretty good one. It's the South respected in hip hop. We got the homie Brown who's here joining us, man. He College Park all day, here to represent, just to give his perspective on the South's impact or their position in hip hop, right now and as pretty much as a whole.
I mean, it started, a little bit later than the North and the West Coast rap, but they started with booty shaking, but it's sort of transcended right now. And if you look at some of the hottest, acts right now, the hottest rappers, you could put T.I. in there. My favorite rap group of all time, Outkast, was born and bred from the South. And I mean, I guess, but how can you say that is the South is still disrespected when, I mean, we the hottest right now. Let's
So
face
you're
it.
saying the South is the hottest out
So you're
right
saying the
now?
South is like the mecca of hip hop right now?
No, that's not what he's saying. I think he's saying like radio-wise, right? Radio-wise. Well, yeah, I agree with that.
I think the South gets blamed for a lot. Like C-Town, when you said, because no, you said, remember what you said. You said any beat that Premier did is better than anything ever in the South. You said
No,
that.
that's not what I said. You were always trying to get shit mixed. Oh, is that what I said? Is that what I said? You sure that's what I said?
Clarify that.
Okay, I said no limit. I didn't say anything in the South. See how you don't be listening?
No limit.
You always be trying to blame me for shit.
Okay, you said no limit. All
Say
right.
you sorry.
I was born in Chicago. I was raised in Miami. So, Luke and all of that was big. Trick Daddy, you know what I'm saying? All of that was huge for me. Then I got put on UGK, Outkast. So the South was always big. And to me, the South had a great balance of booty shaking shit and, not lyrical.
I was about to say, really? There was a balance? Where was the balance? I think the only difference you had was UGK, Outkast, maybe T.I. Then you had like Ghetto Boys, Scarface. Those were really the only differences. Everything else, in my opinion, with the South, that shit all sounded the same.
So the South is not respected in hip hop, or are they gaining respect now with some of the crop of MCs that are coming out right now?
Well, respect from who? That's the question. Who are we talking about?
Who are we talking
Who are we talking about? When you say, are they respected by who?
I mean, I would just say hip hop in general.
Like this
Hip hop in general, hip hop fans. Like Keith said, the South is hot right now. But what that means is they're dominating radio. But here's the thing: like when you fast forward hip hop 20 years, if it's still around, which hopefully it is, are these Southern names really gonna still be prominent? Or is this a fad? Because there's a huge difference between Southern rap and country rap, in my opinion. Like Southern rap, you have your T.I., you have your Outkast, who I don't put them in the same category as fucking Waka Flocka or Gucci or Hot Boys. That shit to me is horrible. And that is what fucked the South up, because that stuff was getting that snap music. That stuff was getting really popular. So people and Lil Jon.
You think Lil Jon messed it up?
Lil Jon was tight though.
Oh, get the hell out of here, Lil Jon.
Yo, Lil Jon. So the album wasn't tight.
Lil Jon?
Crumb Juice.
Yeah, Crumb Juice was tight.
You should jump your ass in that trash can right now.
But it was tight.
Are you serious?
That shit.
You serious? Evidence was solid, but Lil Jon was tight.
But that's I'm talking about
Fuck
the
outta
album. I'm
here,
not saying
bro.
like Lil Jon by himself, but the album Crumb Juice was tight.
You know, when I was talking to the homie that cut my hair, man, and he's from up top, and I asked him about, you know, the South, you know, up that way, and did they listen to any Southern music? And he was like, they not only that, they didn't even really fuck with the West Coast like that. So and he's an older cat. I think we're probably around the same age, and most from Jersey. So,
Most East Coast niggas like that, man.
I know that, but the thing is, most of the guys that did make it up there, that they did respect, that they did listen to, will be, of course, the obvious Southern MCs we can name right now, which would be Outkast, which would be Goody Mob. You know what I'm saying? Which would be Scarface.
That stuff was still lyrical.
Because it was lyrical, it had content, and one of the things he said, he was like, even now I can't listen to the stuff that they're putting out because he doesn't even know what they're talking about. We don't even know what they're talking about. So you know, the point is that I think a lot of it has to do with content, and I think that's why the South doesn't really have the respect of most hip hop heads out there. But is that fair though? Is that fair considering the good MCs that have come from the South?
They get outshined by the horrible ones.
Yeah, because it's too many of the ones that are on this way. Like C-Town said, the Gucci, the Wakas, the if he wants to throw Lil Jon in there, I agree. Lil Jon gets thrown, but the album was still good. But you know what I'm saying? You bundle all these guys up, it far outweighs, let's say, like the big crits. You know what I'm saying? Everybody from North Carolina, TIs. It outweighs them.
Look it up, bro.
Saying that, y'all saying that the bad rappers outweigh what the good rappers are doing. I think it's sort of the other way around. Some of the bad rappers and stuff, I mean, they might be played locally here, but is that stuff really getting played in New York? Is that stuff really getting played, you know? I don't know.
I don't know. Yes,
like Lemonade from Gucci. Is that really?
Yeah, and that right. That's what dude was telling me. He was like, he was very surprised to hear Southern artists such as a Gucci or Waka being played up top, and he was like, what the fuck is this? So you know what I'm saying? Like, but the question is it really the South's fault? Because J. Cole had a good point. He said all them people were talking about him and clowning him. He said, yo, I'm gonna come up here and take advantage of what you guys take for granted.
And Jared Leck is quick to come at
Right.
from out top
So-
because he's like he knows that South got disrespected.
Yeah,
J. Cole,
so
I mean not J. Cole, Jared Leck trying
But
to
they
come
can't
out.
act like they don't know why. It's like, are they really that confused? Come on, Jay Elect. Are you really confused as to why the South gets disrespected? And I'm not saying it's fair. It's not fair.
I mean, just think about
It's
it. If he's
definitely
from the
not
South and people just disrespecting the South, I mean,
he's from the South, but he's not stupid.
I'm just saying, if the people bottle all South people up into that, I mean, of course he's going to be offended, and of course he's going to take up for the
Right,
people
because-
that can run.
because people don't break it down into subcategories like you are, C-Town. They put all that shit together.
I typically do that too.
and into one bucket, and that's it. So yeah, when the trap music and crunk music was hot, at that trendy rap. Yeah, of course. That and that did more to hurt the culture of Southern hip hop than it did to help, because a lot of people. Yeah,
What's the culture of Southern hip hop?
the Southern hip hop,
Was
when you
fun.
had guys that were lyrical, when you had the Outkast, when you had the Goody Mobs, Cool Breeze was even out at that time. When you had those guys out that were finally gaining respect of MCs from the North or from the West, and then all of a sudden, here comes Master P and No Limit,
A-Ball MJG.
and A-Ball MJG. They were mad respected, but then all of a sudden, here comes No Limit, and they just really they probably were the start of the whole decline of Southern rap.
That's what
Because they
started-
came in and made too much fucking money. And Hot Boys followed suit right after them, and then it was over. and then it was over
Talking
from
about
that.
Cash Money Hot Boys, right?
Yeah, Cash Money Hot Boys, and they were.
So you saying No Limit is the reason why the South is not respected? Pretty much.
No,
and I'm just
No,
asking.
no.
I'll say it. Even if you won't, I'll say it.
You say No Limit is the South?
I said
Yeah.
they started the decline of the lyrical Southern MC.
I wouldn't say the early No Limit. Maybe the later on, like they can say
no,
and all that.
yeah.
I think
Not
that.
TRU, though.
Not TRU and
They had some
yeah.
some
No,
some
no,
good
I
albums,
fuck with No
but
Limit. I'm
No,
not saying
no.
that. Yeah, I fuck
you know,
with No Limit. but I'm
Sons
saying
of
that
Funk and
Sons of
and
Made-
they had a group come out every week, and you're right, they watered down, and I don't know, I don't really consider Master P. He's been washed up since 9/11. I
But
mean,
he was strong for a while.
but
You know,
he was, but that goes to show that everybody has a decline. You know what I'm saying? You look at 50, he had his time, he's on a decline. But you look at some of these rappers, these Southern rappers that I mean, have been in the game for a while. You know, how long has Ludacris been in the game? How long has Lil Wayne been in the game? They've been in the game for a long time, and they still, putting the South on the map. The South is still repping, and right now it's repping harder than
But let's talk about why though. Let's talk about why. Here's the thing. It's like when you put the radio on right now, it's like the only thing people want to hear is stuff that's fun, that's lighthearted. They don't want to hear anything that's serious, right? That's why they love the South, because people are tired of hearing all that serious beat over your head Public Enemy shit. They want to have fun for a little while. The South that's what the South represents. They represent having a good time, enjoying yourself,
That was always my
partying.
impression of
The East Coast, West Coast, they don't really have that. The closest they had was Dre and Snoop. And even that shit was a little bit dark.
And they didn't even fuck with the West Coast like that either. They it's same thing with the West. They only fuck with Dre
Right,
and Snoop.
exactly.
So it was only certain guys that were like, you know what? I mean, we'll roll with these cats. We'll ride to it, as FIFO would say.
But see, that's what makes it not fair to say, oh, well, the South is cool and all that because they've stayed in the game. The game is kind of fucked up right now. The game is not really balanced. The game is unfair. That's why the South has stayed on top. But that's also why everyone gets so mad at the South, because they can't get on.
That's a good point. And you're right. And you know what? The South needs more J. Coles. The South needs more Big Crits. They need guys like that can be fun but still be lyrical, because it gives back to the credibility of the South. And the thing is that right now the credibility of the South, to me, overall, is kind of shaky.
It's extremely lyricists don't respect the South because they don't think about the Outcasts.
No, they don't.
They don't think about the
They don't think about the
T.I.s.
Scarface.
They definitely don't think about the Scarface and the Big Crits.
Yeah.
They think about your Wakas and your Gucci's. When I first
And that's
go ahead.
kind of like right now in the game of hip hop, that's like the face of the South.
It is.
And that's the fucked up part about, the South hip hop being disrespected, because it's being represented by the people it shouldn't be represented by.
Is it the South's fault that back to what you were saying earlier, that MCs can't get on right now? Because everybody, to a degree. Why? How?
To a degree, only because I'll say this, and I know people are gonna get pissed off, and I really don't care. The South, in my opinion, made it popular for lyrics to be very, very subpar. They made it popular for the beat to be more important than the lyrics. They did.
But what's wrong with that, though?
What's wrong with the beat being more important than the lyrics?
What's wrong with it not being so lyrical?
You can be not so lyrical, and then you can be Waka Flocka. Okay, there's a huge difference.
What's wrong with Waka Flocka?
A lot.
Like
Waka
what?
Flocka. Waka
Like,
Flocka to
seriously,
me. No. I see where you're going. Waka Flocka has its place, but when I think of hip hop, I do not want anyone to bring up Waka Flocka. Expect if anybody is talking about Southern hip hop, you really want Waka Flocka to be the face of Southern hip hop?
He is.
Exactly.
He's part of the face.
That is a problem, because
It kinda
when you
goes back to
put
what
on
he's
a Waka Flocka song, you cannot tell 5 words out of the entire song. 'Cause everything
but I don't
sounds
think
like a
that's
bunch
Waka
of rambling.
Flocka's fault, though.
It's Waka Flocka's fault. It's not his fault. He's an ignorant bastard.
If that's what he wants to make and that's what he knows how to make, what's wrong with that? I think it's the
Exactly.
fans'
Because-
fault. I think it's the fans' fault that
But you know
They
what?
buy
It
what they
is.
like.
You know what I'm saying? They buy what they
You're
like.
right. You're right. But it's not just the fans' fault, and it's not just Waka's fault. It's also the record label's fault for paying these radio stations to play this stuff. It's the radio station's fault for accepting payola to play this shit. It's not just. Of course it has. It has. But it was still balanced back then. It's not balanced now. When you turn the radio on, there is no balance. You hear a bunch of ignorant dumbasses talking about nonsense.
In the grand scheme of things, when we talk about the South rappers being disrespected. I mean, okay, you saying that? I mean, is hip hop really just based on just lyrical content? Because it's been proven that someone that raps doesn't necessarily that knows how to rap that is just so good lyrically. It's been proven that they just can't really make no money out here. But then on the flip side, you know, some of these Southern rappers, you can't hate on them because they're really making their paper.
At the time when they were having difficulty selling records or getting any airplay, what did some Southern MCs do? I mean, Northern MCs do.
Collab with the South.
They had to.
They went to the South.
They had
Busta
to.
Rhymes did it.
They had no choice. What else can they do? It's either
Stand up.
Stand up for what?
For their culture, for what they want to do.
They do stand up. If you want to make money, which yes, rappers do want to make money.
Yeah, they do.
So at some point, it's like either you, like you said, you stand up and you remain broke,
You go with the trend.
or you go with the trend. So the sad thing is, a lot of these rappers have to go with the trend. They have to jump on a Waka track. They have to jump on a Gucci track. They have to get someone like, you know, Juvenile on a track because that is what's going to help their record. They had to do that. It's sad, but it's a fact of life.
It might be trendy type music, but they making music, they making money, you know, and in the grand scheme of things, that's what it's, I guess, ultimately, that's what it's all about. I guess it's not really hurting nobody's pockets that, you know, that they can't rap. Well, I'm not a lyrical, you know, I'm not lyrical, but I'm making money on my iTunes tracks, and I'm making money ringtones. I'm making money on the concert, on the road on the concert. And you know, that's, I mean, they could be disrespected, but in the grand scheme of things,
They don't give a damn.
they don't really give a damn. Exactly.
There's the issue when you say that. That's absolutely correct. But that's the issue. It's like a lot of these Southern rappers are more concerned with this hit and run shit. Like jump in real quick, make a couple of bullshit tracks, get the money, and bounce. They don't really care about uplifting the culture. They don't really care about preserving the culture and furthering the culture. They're not contributing anything. And I know I'm gonna get flack for this shit, but it's true. These rappers are not contributing anything whatsoever to hip-hop culture.
Yeah, they
Nothing.
have.
Outkast has, T.I. has, Scarface has, UGK has. Waka has not.
They found
Soulja Boy
Let me
has
say,
not.
hold on. They found another way for MCs to make money. That's a contribution.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's a negative contribution.
To live is
Come
struggling.
on, man.
To live is struggling to eat.
And all he got to do
All he has
is
to do is make a ringtone record, and he'll make some money. Come on, man.
hip hop winning.
Come on.
Hip hop winning.
So let me ask you this, Brown. So when you're listening for a particular song, what are you listening for?
All right. Well, I mean, I may judge songs differently than everybody else, but for one, you know, they got to sort of be saying something, you know what I'm saying? But it don't have to be profound like maybe a Jay-Z or you know, a Lil Wayne, but the beat definitely got to be on point because, you know, when you listen to music, you want to relax. So, I mean, I would say, I guess I would say lyrically, or if they saying something that I really want to hear about, like No Hands, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? All that ass, and no jeans. You know, and you be thinking about that type of stuff. Yeah, you want to see a fat ass, you know, or we ain't going steady. You know what I'm saying? You could be going through some stuff, and then that song come on, and you just be like, okay, Rocco, yeah, we ain't going steady. We just be fucking around.
Yeah, he was
Damn, the
very
sex great. Yeah, so you know, I mean, it's
relatable.
Yeah, it's relatable. Exactly, it's relatable. And
Perfect.
yeah,
Point. It is,
just because
that's
it's
what I'm saying. That's
relatable,
why
and I
you
can
say that
relate
they
to
can't
it.
represent the South. Keith is so right.
Yeah.
You're partial to Southern hip hop.
Yes, I am.
Why?
I feel like that's where I grew up. You know, I grew up in Florida. You know what I'm saying? So I saw a lot of those influences. Like Modest Media, I'm pretty sure in Pensacola they was riding donks, verts. Exactly. And that's Florida. That's South.
Like
That-
a car?
Yeah, it's a Caprice, an old school '76 Caprice. A dunk is the one that's not convertible, and the convertible are called verts. You know what I'm saying? And that was super huge in Florida. And to me, that's what represented the South. So when I got put onto UGK and everybody riding lax and all, I was like, oh shit, these niggas is gangsta as fuck.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm partial to it, because I lived in it. I was immersed in it. So when they're rapping about it, I'm like,
I can relate.
to it.
I
about you,
see
bro?
it. I live it.
Probably the same thing, right?
Yeah, I feel the
Same
same
thing,
way.
dog.
I grew up in the South, so I feel like there's a little bit of loyalty. You know, I sort of grew up around, started with booty shaking, and then I went through the Outcasts and stuff. But I mean, this is me. This is what I represent, the South, and and I guess it just it feels good, But I mean, you ask somebody that was from New York, what they can relate to. They would say good things. They would big up New York and Biggie and Jay-Z, and they would probably talk down about the South.
So B, we all know you from Detroit. So, what about you? I mean, what are your thoughts when you think
When I think
or
of
hear-
Southern hip-hop?
Yeah.
B owns every No Limit fucking album, every Hot Boy album. Hey, but real talk, he does. He has all that shit.
I mean, because where I'm from, man, it's like we don't discriminate. Like it's like you can be in the neighborhood, you will hear a Gucci Man, and you can go right around the block and hear Wu-Tang, like easily in Detroit, easily. I know. I got friends that I'll be like, nah, I don't really like that shit. He would like Gucci. He would think Gucci Man is the shit, but he'll also think Biggie is the shit. Like you will meet dudes like that for real in Detroit. So it's like for me growing up, I never really kind of like gravitated like, okay, yeah, I like this coast more so than that coast. I kind of liked it. I would, bump a UGK and I would bump a Tribe Called Quest right after I bumped that UGK album. You know what I'm saying, in my house.
Waka?
No, I wouldn't bump no Walker. I mean, I like quality, hip hop music. If it's good Southern hip hop, I'ma like it. Outkast, I love them to death. They was up there with the Tribe Called Quest and the Wu-Tangs when I would listen to it back then. I'm like, man, these dudes is fucking dope. UGK. I mean, hell, I even like that. I know Mike didn't like him, but I even like 8-Ball and MJG. I thought 8-Ball is pretty cool.
I didn't say I didn't like 8-Ball and MJG.
What?
What? And I'll be obliged if you step outside, because my ride is away. I never said that. Is it the South's fault that this shit happens?
I don't think it's the South's fault. I just think that
I think people bitter, man.
I think they are. I think you're absolutely right. I think people are bitter. And because they can't get any radio play because a lot of the money is in the South, and it's done with what isn't a representation to a certain degree of hip hop lyrics.
And you know what? Remember how you said how we all said that?
Because
That
you
the
said it
South is
magnifies
trendy.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
But I would
Bro.
say it magnifies it because everybody else is taking note. That man, this guy's complete garbage. But he's making this money. He's getting his songs played on the radio. So that's sort of like magnifying everything. And like, man, it's cat can't rap. You know what I'm saying? Why is he on the radio and I'm not on the radio? And so it sort of feeds to the hate.
Right,
stuff.
but you can't hate that cat though. You know
You
what I'm
can't
saying?
because he's getting his papers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's
So,
doing what
I
he
mean,
does. He's doing what he does.
He's doing what he does, and you can't hate on him like that. So a lot of folks are just jealous. They're jealous of the South.